Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Small Stages, Big Sounds, the Uberrock podcast. I'm joined today by Josh Frederick from local band Who Saves the Hero. What a cool band name.
Hello,
Did
everyone.
that come about from a song or?
No, Joe, I didn't even come up with a name. We've been a band since, well, this has been a band with me since 2004. So It's been a long time. And
Don't look old enough.
Thank you. And we've been, we had a few names at the start, and then we settled with Twice My Size. So we was Twice My Size from 2004 until 2014. And obviously members coming in and out. And it got to the point where it got a bit stagnant. Like certain people had left, like people do invest in members. They don't just invest in the music, and they invest in the band sometimes overall. So it got to that point where we were like, we need a change. I was against it originally. I didn't want to do it. And then I got why we needed to do it. And then my old drummer came up with the name, basically. So, and then we settled on, because I'm not a massive superhero person. Never was big into those kind of films. But I took a different meaning from it, where, anyone can be a hero. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not always with superpowers. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And then I started to like it more. And we've kind of come away from where a lot of stuff we used to do around, like, a superhero with a cape, merch would be like that. And then we eventually, now it's just the name. We don't associate it with superheroes, really. It's just, that's the name. And we've kind of got away from that side of it as well. Because it can get hard to do things sometimes then, because you've got that attached to. Do you know what I mean?
As you said, I think that line about anyone could be a hero sums it all up, really.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's what I take from it. Some people will take the meaning from it, but I take that from it, that, anyone can be a hero.
So what inspired the core themes on the album, particularly things like Bulletproof?
Oh, Joe, Bulletproof musically, I wrote that probably 2010.
It's a cracking little track.
Yeah, it's a cool song, that. So the way I did it is, obviously the album's in sections. So you've got the intros. So there's 4 songs under love as a overall. So not like I love you, but love is in general. So a loss of love.
As a concept.
Yeah, as a concept, basically. The same with hate. Then 6 track down would be hate, talking point, 3 songs under hate, and then 3 songs under demons. But it just gets a bit heavier as well as it goes along. Do you know what I mean? Because the songs get darker, basically, as it goes along. And that was a dark sounding one. And that's kind of where we went with it, basically.
And having listened to it, you can see the development of it, and you can see what you're saying is that everybody loves, everybody hates, and everybody has demons.
Oh, yeah.
Just whether you show them or not. And I think it's a fabulous little concept.
Yeah, it is. Like, what basically the album is the concept, not the songs. The songs are then just the stories that go there. Because normally the songs are the concept. It's either a concept album or it's not, where I've tried to combine the two. Because you never see it. I don't know anyone who's done like a concept and a non-concept album in one.
I think it works really well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's some real toe tappers on there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
And but one thing I like about it, being of a certain age and having been a professional all my life, the thing that irks me about bands is the predilection to using expletives.
Can you explain that?
Swear words.
Right, yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Sorry. Yeah.
And, if you want your music to get somewhere, you got to do stuff that doesn't include swear words.
Yeah, so we did that purposely. We basically did it all, so it's all radio friendly. And plus I don't have to do radio edits as well. They're hard work.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Trying to think of that word sometimes to put in a word in that makes sense where the swear word is. Sometimes it's basically impossible because nothing fits. Do you know what I mean?
But like I said, it works really well and I like it. I mean, the other one that stood out for me was the reggae groove with Make Your Mind Up. That was a real curveball.
Yeah, it's different. Again, I wrote that song musically originally for our last EP. So we released 2 singles just before the album started to come out, like the singles for the album started to come out. And before that, we released an EP called Collections of Thoughts and Feelings. And originally that was written to go on there, but it just didn't make it. But I'd always loved the music, so I was like, I keep the music there. And then we eventually turned it into a song for the album. Like, yeah, it changes it up a bit. Like, it's a bit of everything on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got my influences there, and it's still Who Saves the Hero. But like I said, there's so many different kinds of songs genre-wise on that album that it can cater to everyone in his own little way, you know?
How did you manage to talk Benji into doing the intro?
So I actually work with Benji. So I work in the industry as well. Like on the side of the band, I do tour managing, I do merchandise, and I also do a bit of the driving. But I've been working with Benji for years, and I drive him around a lot. Basically, I drive him to shows, sign-ins, like different things like that. When he's not out with them all, then like when they're not all traveling on the bus and he's just got to go and then come back, or then I work closely with Benji. And honestly, we were in the studio. I wanted him to be on the track, but he couldn't. He had no features left, so I was like, "Can you do a talking intro?" And within 5 minutes, he sent me a voice note like back on WhatsApp and was like, "Something like this, is it, bro?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's perfect." And then we did one more, and then we just chopped it up and put it in.
He's such a lovely guy. He always comes across as a nice guy.
He's a lovely guy. He's one of the best. Like he's one of the real ones as a rock star. You know, he's no ego, nothing. Just loves what he's doing, and he's appreciative of everything he's had. I mean, he's no ego there whatsoever. He's a good guy.
So I noticed in the credits that you've had some collaborations with Evan Gardner.
So yeah, basically Evan wrote the album with me. So
more than a little collaboration then.
Yeah, well, we've always wanted to do things together. Like, me and Evan have been friends for years. I used to actually help him when he was doing his stuff when he was still an artist himself. And obviously, like I said, we've been friends since we were young. Originally, we were like, let's do 3 songs on the album together. So I wrote all the music for every song on the album musically, and then what I'd do, and I'd send them over to him. And then we'd have a Zoom meeting, like a Zoom call, and we'd start figuring out, like, he'd do like 6 different melodies for a first verse, and then we'd pick, that one's cool, and that one goes with this one nice, and then we'd piece them together, and then the lyrics would start being written. But we did the first song, which was Lonely, if I remember right, and we just had fun, and it worked. And then I was like, do you want to do the album with me? And then he was like, I was hoping you were going to ask me that, because I really wanted to do it, but I didn't want to just be like, let me do the album with you. And yeah, and then it took us about a year then, basically. I kept writing music, sent some stuff over to him. Some of the ones didn't make it, and some of them then obviously the ones that we settled with. Like, Do What You Want, we were leaving for the studio because we record in Newcastle, see? So like, we've got a 7.5 hour drive before we even start to get up there. And literally, Nicky, the bass player, he came up mine the night before, and Do What We Want, we wrote that the night before in 40 minutes. And that's probably one of the hits, in my opinion, like radio friendly.
So you live in Newcastle?
No, I live in the Rhondda, but we record up in a studio in Newcastle.
Oh, it's a hell of a trip just to do that.
I know, it's just a good studio. and we work with a producer up there called George Collins, and he's a wicked producer. Like, it's taken me a long time to find people that get what I want. Let's get him and we got like producers in common as well that's done stuff that I like growing up, and it just works. He's wicked at recording drums, and you've got to be like, the drums got to be good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to music all my life, and you find some production where all you can hear is drums.
Yeah.
But what you need to hear is the drums under everything else.
Exactly. He's a very good mixer as well. Like, he's a good producer, but his mixing, because we co-produced it together. Because I'm quite picky, to be honest, with stuff. But I'm also, if I think, like, for example, if he turned around to me and was like, I think we shouldn't use this and try this idea, and I reckon that idea's better, I'm the first person to be like, yeah, let's use that idea. I think some people get too tied up in, they're too precious about things. Sometimes it just doesn't need to be there. Do you know what I mean? And some people will come up with better ideas than you, and sometimes you just gotta listen. I never used to be like that. It took me a long time to be like that.
Well, at the end of the day, they've been doing it for a long time, so know, they've probably listened to so much stuff that you wouldn't even listen to, and ideas work differently.
Yeah, exactly. I like working with Evan is stuff that he came into it from a pop perspective. So this is why the songs are pop
Quite
songs.
poppy.
They are like written. The music's us, but lyric and melodies wise, it's written exactly like any pop song would be written. Do you know what I mean? And that's why we went for that. Like it's you got to keep up with the times, as they say. Otherwise, you will never go anywhere. Unfortunately.
So your biggest challenge, obviously, was recording this. Did you do it all in one
Yeah,
session,
so
or?
I think we did 15 days straight in the studio. Yeah, we stayed up there and we stay in the studio. Every time we've worked up in Newcastle, we've stayed there and done it all in one hit, like, basically.
That's hard work.
Yeah, it is hard work, but it gives a good documentary then, because we filmed
Yeah.
everything. So I am piecing together a doc, which we haven't announced anything about that yet, but there we go. It will be coming soon.
Okay. Well, there we are. Exclusive, yeah?
Exclusive, yeah.
Yeah. So what are your hopes for live shows then? I see you haven't got much
Yeah,
booked at the moment.
Since lockdown lifted up until we went and did the album, we just did so much touring that I didn't want to jump straight into it with this album straight away. Like we are announcing a German tour, which is like we've got that festival that we've announced, Farewell Youth Festival in Dresden, in Germany, which is like 2 hours down from Berlin, if that. So most people would know where Berlin is, so it's just down from that. So we have got a few other shows. I've just been getting final confirmation for everything. So we're announcing a German tour probably in the next couple of weeks, and I'm working on stuff for October then for the UK for us. I want the album to get some love first, basically, before we just go and play it. Like I don't want them to be. I don't like playing pointless shows anymore. I want to play stuff that's going to benefit, but also I need to leave this album, have the press, and have his time, so then it's going to have the love live. Do you know what I mean?
Well, like I said, it's not something I would have normally listened to, but I've got it on my playlist.
No, awesome.
So,
thank you very much.
So there you are.
Appreciate it.
It does come across in parts as very infectious, and hopefully the crowds will be able to have big join-in sessions with some of the lyrics as well.
Yeah, it's definitely got some sing-along parts. Like, I think we purposely done some of them. We wanted those big, like some of them as anthemic vibes. Do you know what I mean? And then like Mama's song, for example, that's like more of a anthemic rock song. That is, do you know what I mean? And then more of the pop stuff is like the sing-along stuff, basically.
So, what would be your ideal support if you were doing a festival somewhere? Who would you like to be on the bill with?
Well, obviously Blink-182. They, obviously Blink a massive influence for me, but there's so much. I love everything. Where I used to be like, I'm a punk rocker and that's all I like, and that's all I listen to. I just love everything. So there's some pop artists out there that I'd love to be on a stage with. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like, I love it. I do love everything. Like, do you know what I mean?
With some of these, I could see it happening. You know?
Yeah, and also I feel like now more than ever, there's more mixed bill lineups. Anyway, like there's some bands that take people out that you'd never would have thought, but they would never have done it back in the day. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, you see, and like a lot of stuff's happening now where people are having like 4 bands for these shows, and then like one band for these 4 shows, and then another band for these 4 shows, where they've got 6 support instead of just the tour support, where it's like 3 people. Do you know what I mean? And I like that. I like a mixed bill, I do. No one wants to listen to the same song 30 times in a row. And that tends to happen at a lot of these festivals or shows where it's all like one punk rock band or one metal band, like all the way through. It sounds like one giant song. Do you know what I mean?
Would you like to get on a bill with Benji and the boys?
But yeah, I'd love to support Skindred. It'd be... I don't know how the crowd would take us, but with us...
You know, I saw Skindred at Steelhouse with bands that you wouldn't put on the same bill.
Was that 2 years?
Steelhouse Head of Hell.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, was it?
The first time I saw them was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, I did that one with them in Steelhouse.
And
yeah, I did that show
when
with
it was
them.
absolutely chucking it down with rain.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Absolutely blew me away. I thought he was fantastic.
He is the new Freddie Mercury, like.
He is such a showman.
He's
absolutely.
Good. He is good. He's very good.
So, do you see yourself sticking with this poppy stuff for the next future project, or going in a different direction?
Honestly, I'm just writing songs. Like, it could be... There's stuff I want to do where it's all me, like voice and piano. There's stuff I want, like I definitely stepping into the direction of doing a lot of rhythm on acoustic guitar going for like full band. I don't want it always to be an electric or distorted guitar. Then, do you know what I mean? I honestly just trying to write songs. Like we've got a load more written going forward, and it's even some of them are even better than the album, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Different again as well. I think I always stick to that mainstream sound then, but it'll always have my stamp to it. Like even though these songs have like got the pop side to it, if you've ever heard anything by us, you would instantly go, but it still sounds like Who Saves the Hero, if that makes sense. I'll always try and make it sound like us in some way, whether it's synthesizer all the way through or whatever. It'll still, if that, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, you'd like to have a signature sound and stay with it.
Yeah.
As you say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. That's why me and Evan are right in for the rest of our life together.
Well, give Evan my best wishes when you speak to him next.
I will, definitely.
Well, thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, brilliant. I hope the album does as well as it deserves.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
And like I said, I've had it on play in the car for the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. It's got some good songs on it. That's all I can say is people need to come and see us live.
Well, if you're in the area...
We are a live band, like we are.
If you're in the area, I'll pop along.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Send me an invite.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm in South East Wales, so if you're in Cardiff or something, I can pop along to that.
Yeah, wicked. Thank you very much.
I can see a couple of your photos are from Fuel.
Yeah, we've done Fuel over the years.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's still going. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you were doing the Abertillery thing, didn't you?
Yeah, Slugfest.
Slugfest. Well, it used to be Slugfest, yeah.
Yeah, SX or whatever.
SX or X-Fest or something.
Yeah, X-Fest, yeah. But yeah, we play in that.
Wow.
I think that's the only Welsh show we do it until October this year. Because basically we've done the UK so much now, I'm moving us out of the UK for a bit. Basically, like that's why we're doing Germany in June, because I reckon Europe are going to eat this up, like this album.
They're going to love it.
So I just want to, it's time for us to come out to the UK for a bit, like, because we have toured the UK endlessly, like so much, and we've done everything, from little shows up to big support shows, and it's time for us to move now.
Well, best of luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I'm going to call it a day there.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.